All right, folks, it is 7:30, so we are going to get a start. Good morning, everyone. I see that we have been joined by Randy Hart, who is our district governor nominee. So we'll have Randy do some chat a little bit in a little bit, but let's do the standard happiness of ringing the bell. And hang on just a minute while Rick gets that ready, because I wasn't ready, that is.
I have to let her in. Just leave her. She'll come up for dinner, for breakfast.
Here we go. So we're going to ring the bell. It's a nice bell. I like that one. And now if you could all stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. And Randy, since you're here, I'm going to ask you to lead us in the pledge.
My pleasure. So please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
To the flag
To the flag
of
of
the
United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. And last, but by no means least, ye four-way test. Let's go with Ted for this one. If you could lead us in the four-way test.
The four-way test of the things we think, say, or do. First, is it the truth?
Truth, is it fair
Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and
better friendships? Will it be beneficial?
Well, concerned.
And number 5,
Have
Have
fun.
fun.
Have fun.
Yay. Thanks, everyone. I appreciate the humoring of me through that process. I strangely enjoy the still doing all those standard Rotary type things. So welcome, everyone. It's been a while since we've had a meeting, so we haven't seen each other in a while. We have some businessy things to take care of, and we have a nice presentation coming up with Becky. Before we get started, I did mention that Randy Hart has joined us. So Randy is our district governor nominee. So Randy, if I could just have you introduce yourself, tell us a little bit about you, all that goodness.
Hey, thanks, Rick. Of course, I'm from the Big Island, Hawaii. I work up at Kilauea Military Camp. It's a MWR, Morale, Welfare, Recreation resort up here inside Hawaii Volcanoes National Park. Been here for a lot of years. Was president 2016, 2017. Had so much fun being president for that year. I thought, what the heck, if being president was that much fun, it should be 53 times more fun being the district governor. So, that's a bit about me. Just a couple of other things that are high on my priority list is making sure I have a president nominee from each one of the clubs. I don't think Poipu has a, you guys have president nominee yet, Rick?
We're going to do our president election today, so for next
awesome.
year. We're a little behind on that.
And that's okay. About half of the clubs in the district do have president nominees, and I'm trying to start to engage with them a little bit, but not, with this deluge of emails and requirements and stuff. Just trying to keep, the presidents in the loop on what's going on. And there's some very, very good training that will make the job much easier than it was for me anyway. Whenever I was president, the learning curve, I found I was going to be president because the PE dropped out like in February, March timeframe. So I had 3 or 4 months to get ready. Missed pets, but ended up going to an alternate. And anyway, The learning curve was pretty steep. So trying to get the president nominees engaged a little bit, make them aware of the training and stuff that's out there that they can ease them into their year, so the year is much more enjoyable when you don't have the stress of all the learning. And that's about it. Speaking of training, we do have spring training, district training this Saturday. I think starting at 9 o'clock. So I forget what all the subjects are this week, but I'm sure Ted knows. But anyway, great to be with you this morning, and just wanting to kind of get a face with the name, so Rotarians out there, know who I am, and a little bit about me anyway. And looking forward to the opportunity to come over on personal travel, in-person meetings, but knowing that that's still a little bit out. So virtual and Zoom is next best, and probably be around for a while. So thanks. Appreciate being here this morning.
Well, we're glad you joined us. Thank you. And just to clarify for everyone, Randy's going to be our district governor for 2022-23. Is that correct?
That's correct, Rick.
Okay.
Yes. Yep.
I still can't believe we're in the 2020s, but we are. So yeah. And Randy acted as a very good lead into several of the things that we're going to do today. But the first one that I do want to get out of the way is the nomination and election of our club officers. So I had sent out the list of nominees, and then we'll also take nominees from the floor. A nominee from the floor someone from the floor can only be nominated if you've already cleared it with them. So, I can't nominate Tom to be president when I haven't talked to Tom about being president. Can I? No. So the plan that we have is the nominees that we have for the president. We're looking at a shared presidency this year, a co-presidency, and it's Danny, who has joined us, and Cyrus, who has not joined us this morning. They're planning to share the presidency. Are there any other nominees for president? All right. All in favor of Danny and Cyrus, say aye.
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 All opposed?
Aye.
Oh, good. That was just a late eye, Joycelyn.
Sorry,
Okay.
had to find my
Congratulations,
voice.
Danny. Yay. Congratulations, Cyrus, wherever you are. Thank you. And thank you for stepping up. We have a nominee for vice president in Ron Mabry, who is continuing in the role. Any other nominations for that position? All in favor?
Aye.
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 Congratulations, Ronald. And club secretary, Jonathan Murata, continuing on in that role, is the nominee. Any other nominations for club secretary? Those in favor?
Aye.
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 Anyone opposed? Congratulations, Jonathan. Thanks for continuing. And our last one is our treasurer in Craig Nishimoto. Anyone else nominating for treasurer? All in favor of Craig?
Aye.
Aye.
That's it. Thank you, Tom. I like the thumbs up. That's good. If only I had thought of that before. A little late, but yeah, it's a good one. All right.
Because this is too
Congratulations, Greg.
difficult to do this, so I have
It
to
is.
use an emoji.
That was good though. So thank you all for volunteering to serve. In some cases, coming into a new role. In some cases, continuing in an existing role. It is much appreciated, and it's an important part of our club to have the leadership team like this. We're going to have a joint board meeting of the old and the new boards. Realistically, it's Danny and Cyrus are the new additions there, coming up on May 5th at 5 p.m. It's on our club calendar. I, as of prior to this meeting, hadn't set up the Zoom meeting yet. I will set that up later today and get the information out there. But if anyone would like to join the board meeting, please do let me know about that. But thank you all. and know that your service is appreciated. Other announcement type things. Becky?
Yeah, I just wanted to announce that I picked up the plaques for the nursing scholarship and the culinary scholarships from KCC, and I had them engraved from last year's and this year's winners, and I returned them to the college. I guess Rodney has the trades one, so I guess he'll have to get that one engraved.
Okay, thank you for doing that. That's a nice thing, and it's always good recognition. So thank you. All right, just a few things. Our newly elected co-president Cyrus and Bev, his wife, recently added to their family. They had a little girl, I believe on April 7th, if I'm not mistaken. She came a month early, but she came robustly into this world, and that's a very good thing. So they now have a boy and a girl. So if you do see them, do definitely congratulate them. She's an adorable little baby. As Randy mentioned, we have our last of our spring trainings coming up this Saturday. And if you're looking to attend the spring training, or if you want to view some of the content from previous spring trainings, there was one last Saturday, and then we go back 2 weeks before that for the first of the spring training sessions. They were all recorded. They're all available on the district website, and the district website is rotaryd5000.org. So you can go and you can get all the information for how to access the Zoom meetings that are coming up on Saturday. And then that's also where you'll find the recordings of the previous meetings. And let me try that again. The district training, the spring training stuff is, I think, always valuable. I will say I have found this is one of those cases where Zoom has been, I think, a high benefit to us. Because in the past, what we've done with spring training is people would come to each island and do the training there. So here on Kauai, we hung out with people from Kauai. Well, you know what? We hang out with people from Kauai a lot. So it's nice now with Zoom that we actually have a statewide, a district-wide Zoom training, because we get to hear some differences and some ideas. And what they've been doing in a lot of them is they've been breaking us out into the breakup rooms in Zoom, so that instead of sitting in a room with 30, 40, 50 other people, you get a chance to be in a smaller group and kind of, there's those words again, just share ideas, which is really quite nice to be able to do that. So if you do have the chance to join, that's always good. Coming up on April 24th, our club is going to do a beach cleanup. You might remember we had John Harder speak to our club. There was some association with Surfrider. Quite honestly, that seems to have kind of fallen apart. We were talking about the parking lot at the Hyatt. Ted and I tried to drive down to Mahalapu over the weekend, and the main road to Mahalapu still has the gate over it, so you can't get down the main road. There's a way to get down past CJM Stables. I gotta say the road is in pretty bad shape already. There's limited parking down there. I don't know that that's the place for us to go. So we're kind of looking at other options for what beach we might do. It will be a South Shore beach, obviously. And, we'll get a crew of people together and get out there and do some beach cleanup. Personally, I think this would be a neat project for us to do on an ongoing basis as well. In addition to that beach cleanup, which is us physically going out and doing the cleanup, our club also approved a share in a project that is happening island-wide with Surfrider. We're providing $500. Each club is being asked to provide $500, a total of $2,500. And the plan is that we will be buying some cleanup materials that will be made available at various resorts around the island. And it will be co-branded with Surfrider and Rotary. And the idea is that the visitors can go out and do beach cleanups. And in some cases, some of the hotels are looking at, if you do a beach cleanup, we're going to give you a $25 gift certificate to our restaurant, whatever. There might be some incentives like that, but by no means is that kind of viewed as the driving force behind it all. It's the idea of getting the visitors out there, realizing that yes, what Dottie has behind her is beautiful and lovely and all, but it is actually not as pristine as it may appear, that there are plastics and trash and things like that on our beaches, and gets them to just, take care of the place they love to come to on vacation a little bit. So our club is going to be participating in that. The details are all still being worked out. The idea is that there will be a flyer in each hotel. There will be the materials, and like I said, the probably a little, buckets that they'll take out for this, and those will all be branded both with Surfrider and with the Rotary logos on it. So that's a kind of a newer project that we're looking at. So April 24th, beach cleanup. May 1st, the highway cleanup here in Kalaheo. As you know, our club is responsible for a rather long stretch of highway. If you've ever looked at where we start and where we end, I think we got double, but we're going to be having that on May 1st. And I see Ted saying we still need more people to sign up. Actually, Ted, would you like to sign up for that, and also just a little bit about the beach cleanup, or Jonathan, whichever one of you wants to talk about the highway cleanup? Sorry. Theodore?
So yeah, we've got 2 cleanup projects coming up back to back. I sent a couple reminders to everybody and posted in our mobile app about signing up, and I haven't gotten very many responses so far. So this is yet another verbal reminder. If you can sign up for either or both of those cleanup projects, please let me know. You can email me, text me, hit me over the head, however you want to communicate with me. I'll take your communication to sign up. And also, if anybody wants to help me organize the beach cleanup day, if we want to have some refreshments afterwards or things like that, anybody wants to work with me on that, let me know. Highway cleanup is the following Saturday, May 1st. This is a reschedule because we canceled earlier due to weather. And the plan would be on May 1st to meet at the Kauai coffee sign on the highway, like is our normal meeting place. And Jonathan, I believe, has the supplies. Jonathan, are you there? Anything?
Yeah. No, I have the bags and everything from the county. They said if we don't want to actually have to haul the trash away, if we can just pile them all in one place, they'll come and pick it up too. So I've scheduled that. So it'll make it a little easier since this year we didn't get Matson to drop off a container.
Cool. Thank you, gentlemen, for setting this up and organizing it. And of course, help on the cleanups is always appreciated, but help on organizing is also very much appreciated, as Ted mentioned. The other part is, if you're sitting there going, well, April 24th, I don't know. What if it rains? What if there's terrible weather? As we did with the highway cleanup, if the weather is awful, we're not going to say, well, we don't care that it's driving rain. We're going to have you out there cleaning up the beach. We're going to reschedule it and make it happen at a more reasonable time. And I got to say, spending the morning walking the beach, picking up a little bit of trash, it's not a bad thing to do. It's kind of neat. So I think it's a great opportunity. And as several people have pointed out, we are the Rotary Club of Poipu Beach. So there's a lot to be said for working at a beach. It kind of goes right into the name. So that's a very good thing. The one other thing to mention is on May 14th, 15th, and 16th is the district conference. The district conference is a virtual conference this year. And so it is all taking place via Zoom and such, but there are going to be the standard keynote speakers. There's going to be a house of friendship. It's going to be a lot of the things that those of you who have been to a previous district conference know and love. And of course, the other part is just the opportunity to meet with fellow Rotarians, again, from all across the islands. It's easy in a lot of ways for us to kind of insulate ourselves into our club, or even into our island and the other clubs on our island. But I think one of the nice things about the district conference, and like I was saying about the virtual spring training that we have going on now, is that it opens it up to talking with people from other clubs around the state and district. And we're going to be having a special celebration because the Rotary Club of Hilo is celebrating their 100th anniversary this year. So, and that's Randy's club. And so that's going to be a special highlight of the district conference. If you're looking to sign up, it's $40 to attend, and you would sign up at rotaryd5000.org. There it is again. And what time is the beach cleanup? Well, that's a good question, Joycelyn. We're still going to figure that out. We'll probably meet, not too early in the morning, but I'm going to leave that to other folks to determine on that. And Rodney's in for both. So that's good. Thank you. If you're actually, those of you, the highway cleanup is one of those ones I always look at and I'm like, my gosh, we're walking along a highway picking up trash. But if you remember the last one we did, it was really kind of fun. And then we all went to Kauai Cookie. We may not be able to do that again this year, but it's a neat little project to be able to do. And it's very rewarding. I know, again, even though we're the Rotary Club of Poipu Beach, as I look around the club, many of us live in Kalaheo. So doing the highway through Kalaheo is also rewarding because you get to drive down the road and go, hey, look, that highway is clean, and it's clean because of our club. So it's a little point of pride, which is really quite nice. Those are the announcements. Yes, Tom.
I've been meaning to mention this. We have a former exchange student from many years back who is from China, and she sent me 600 N95 masks from China. And I don't need them. But I was wondering if anybody knows of, a place that would appreciate a donation of single-use N95 masks. And if so, please just let me know.
Okay, thank you. That's very sweet of our exchange student and of you to then pass them on as well.
Yeah, Shosho, very nice. She tried to do it early on. It's funny because she tried to do it very early on and they wouldn't let it ship. And so finally they started shipping to the US DHL or whatever it is. And then it showed up and I went, okay, great. So let me know.
I will say, I also forgot about something, but one of the Rotary clubs on Oahu printed out some mask holders. They're little bands that go along the back of your head so that you can hook onto those instead of hooking onto your ears. And I have, I think, 200 of those. So it's kind of a neat little marriage there. My thought was looking at police stations, fire stations, places like that. But that would be neat to give the masks and the holders. And the holders do say Rotary Clubs of Hawaii on them. So yeah, let's look at some ideas for how we can get those distributed. I think that would be good. I will say I totally forgot about those mask holders. And I've had them since Thanksgiving. So that'll be good to get those going as well. Thank you. Anything else from anyone? Alrighty then. So one of the organizations that our club has always supported on the island is Growing Our Own Teachers. And as you may know, well, as you all know, that it is not, this is not an inexpensive place to live. And trying to do so on a teacher's salary can be a bit more difficult than it would be in other parts of the country. So this Growing Our Own Teachers Kauai group came along, and Becky sits on the board. Nancy also sits on the board, doesn't she?
She's
Okay.
a president.
And Tom, are you still? Okay. So we have club members who are actively involved in this, and our club has worked with them in the past on things. So we thought it would be a good opportunity to hear what's going on with Growing Our Own Teachers. And I know there are some videos and such to show. So I'm going to turn it over to Becky and or Ted.
Great.
I'm going to mute everyone. So if you are speaking, you'll need to unmute yourself. But I'm going to find the mute all. Get where these things are now. Meeting. There it is. Okay, so I'm muting everyone. If you're going to speak, you'll need to unmute.
Thanks, Rick. So as Rick said, I'm the treasurer of Growing Our Own Teachers on Kauai. Many of you know about that group, but so I'll just give you a brief history. It was started in 2006 by Dr. Connie Blackwell, who was a professor at the University of Hawaii. She lived here on Kauai and was responsible for working with students that were in the elementary education program, people that wanted to be elementary teachers. At that time, the University of Hawaii had a distance learning program for that specific major. So the candidates could take the coursework here on Kauai. They didn't have to go to Oahu to UH Manoa. She talked George Corrigan, who was then the president of the Hanalei Bay Rotary, into joining with her in sponsoring this program. One of the issues that the Department of Education here in Hawaii has always faced is having enough qualified teachers for the schools. And so her idea was to raise some money that would provide scholarships to these education students when they were in their student teaching semester. That at that point in time, they really can't work because they're spending their whole time in the classroom learning how to be teachers. So they started out with scholarships. And after a couple of years, in 2008, they spun off from the Hanalei Bay Rotary and became their own 501c3. And although I wasn't here at the time, I know that Tom and Nancy were on the board at that time, and our club was very involved with that organization. They did have early fundraisers, and some of you may remember those wonderful Christmas concerts that Willie K would come over here and do. And that was their major fundraiser for many years. Unfortunately, of course, that we haven't been able to do that and won't be able to do that since Willie K passed on. But we did, so we've had a few years here where we've not been able to have any kind of fundraiser. As I said, we were a small group. We're pretty much a 7-person board, volunteer board. So we've been trying to figure out ways to raise money. During the past few years, we have been lucky enough to be able to receive grants. We were one of the 3 nonprofits on Kauai in 2019 that received one of the $20,000 Servco grants. Since then, our grant writer and I have been writing for other grants, and thanks to the sponsorship of Mary Gross, we received a $2,000 Safeway grant. We also received a $2,000 KIUC grant. And recently, we just received a $12,000 grant from the Dorsey Foundation, which is out of St. Paul, Minnesota, but they provide grants to people in Hawaii. So over the years, we have sponsored over 80 students. And during that time, one of our requirements or one of our conditions is if you receive one of our grants, that you must agree to teach on the island of Kauai for at least 3 years. And I've gathered the statistics from the Department of Education for those people that have done that. And I'm proud to say that we have an 87% success rate, which I think is pretty good. And many of those teachers from the first groups, which were in 2007, 2008, are still teaching on Kauai. So I think that's really great. We got a grant from the Hawaii Community Foundation about 4 years ago, and we did a new strategic planning session. And so we reached out to the principals in the schools to find out what the continuing need was in the schools. And we discovered that we've pretty much done very well at the elementary level, but the need right now is in, of course, special education, which is a need statewide, and in the middle school and high schools. So we're trying to expand our service to student teachers or people that are at that level. There's a couple of ways we can do that. We learned about a program called I Teach Hawaii, which allows people who have degrees to have sort of interim teaching certificates at the middle school or high school and take coursework through this I Teach Hawaii to become certified Hawaii teachers. We sponsored a young man last year in that program. His name is Kavika Wellington. His grandmother was a prominent teacher here in Hawaii many, many years. He had a degree in mechanical engineering and decided he wanted to come back to Kauai and be a teacher. So he is now a math and technical teacher out at Waimea High School. And so we were really happy to sponsor him. This semester, we sponsored a woman at Chiefus Kamakahele School. She is in computer ed and a math teacher. And we also have another elementary student that we're sponsoring this semester. So due to the fact that it's really difficult to have fundraisers where you get a lot of people together, as we all know from the Rotary Club, we decided to try a virtual fundraiser. So we hired, fortunately, Ted to help us with his digital marketing background and company to help us launch this campaign, which is going on now, leading up to May 4th, which is Teacher Appreciation Day. So we asked some of our former recipients if they would do some testimonials for us. And I think Ted has at least one or two that he wants to play. So you can hear from the people who have received our grants so far. Our goal for the fundraiser is to raise $5,000. It's a modest goal at this point in time, but I believe we're just about halfway there. So we have done pretty well considering the campaign has been going on for just a little over a week. So Ted, you want to play one of those testimonials for us?
Sure, let me share the screen here.
Hi, my name is Marissa Hesapini, and I'm a preschool special education teacher at Kauai Elementary School. The question is why I wanted to become a teacher. For me, growing up, I've always wanted to become a teacher with the inspiration of my Hanai brother. I enjoy teaching, assisting, and supporting students in and out of the classroom. The enjoyment I have for the children's joyfulness and many personalities that they bring with their presence, their explorations that they share through their school day, the learning experiences that I gain from them, and being able to support them throughout their learning. Receiving this financial assistance from GOOT provided me the opportunity to pursue my career while still being able to spend time with my daughter and being able to provide my daughter and I with many more opportunities to come. Growing our own teachers on Kauai made it possible for me to become a teacher for our local KP. This year's fundraising campaign has moved online. We need your assistance now to raise $10,000 so we can fund our next group of student teachers. Invest in the future, make a difference for our local residents like me to become a teacher on Kauai. Please click the link to donate today. Thank you. Bye.
So that's a young woman from Kaloa Elementary. This next one is a young woman from King Kamuali'i Elementary.
Hi everyone, my name is Ira. I'm currently an elementary school teacher here on the island of Kauai. I'm a first year teacher and I'm teaching reading to grade kindergarten through third grade at Kauai-based Elementary School. I wanted to share a little bit about my journey in becoming a teacher and how growing our own teachers has helped to support me in becoming the teacher that I am today. So actually I am from Kauai and I went to school at Kauai-based when I was in elementary school, and it's been a long time dream of mine to go back to where I grew up and serve the community there. So when I moved back from the mainland, I decided to try working in the schools, and I ended up with a part-time teaching position at King K, and that's kind of what fueled my desire to go back to school and get my master's degree in teaching. So I went and did that. During my teaching program, I became a new mom, and that was right before I was to student teach. And some of you may or may not know that student teaching is a semester long and it's unpaid. So student teachers dedicate an entire semester teaching full time under the guidance of a mentor, but they're not getting paid for it as part of the program. So I was actually able to graduate on time after having my daughter. And completing my student teaching thanks to growing our own teachers on Kauai because they provided financial assistance while I was finishing up my last semester in school. And this was at the beginning of the pandemic last spring. So I'm just really grateful to them that I was still able to finish my program and get their support and their help, even though the pandemic hit and school closed. So I want to help future student teachers in achieving their dreams and their goals by reaching out to you guys to ask for your support in growing our own teachers so that they can continue to support the next group of student teachers. Right now, their fundraising campaign has moved online due to the pandemic, and their goal is to raise $5,000. So if you can invest in the future of our island and our kids and support the Growing Our Own Teachers mission to make a difference for our student teachers, please donate. Click the link to donate today. Anything helps, and you'll be making a huge difference in something that really, really matters in our community. Thank you so much, and have a great day.
And Becky, I have one more queued up if you want to do one more.
Let me just talk a little bit and then we'll see if we have time, okay? As I said, we're doing this online. I want to say that your Rotary Club, our Rotary Club here in the past has been very supportive of growing our own teachers, not only having people on the board. But, Claude, are you calling me? Sorry, that was Claude. For some reason, he called me. He probably didn't mean to, but he did. In any case, I wanted to thank our Rotary Club. They have been supportive when you had better times and when we had good fundraisers. They provided us with money. A couple of years ago, $5,000, which I thank you for. In the past, you've provided some support for growing our own teachers as well. And, I would encourage you to go to our website or go to our Facebook page or our Instagram page and find out a little bit more about us. I think it's an organization that has a good purpose, and I think we've been successful. Our board does donate money as well to the organization, and we have a very low overhead. So at this point, all of the money that we get from donations goes directly to teachers, to prospective teachers. Our board is able to cover the small overhead costs that we have. So all of the money that has been donated to us from benefactors has gone directly to teachers or future teachers. I did a presentation like this in January to the Rotary Club of Hanalei Bay, and they sent me $800 from their club. And after that, I received an anonymous donation from a member for $5,000. So I thought that was pretty great. So please consider making a donation to our online campaign. Any amount is accepted. We're trying to do the best that we can. And as I said, I think our organization has been very successful in its mission. We're expanding now to include special ed teachers and hopefully middle and high school teachers to try to meet that need as well. So I think I did have an opportunity. I will tell you, a few years ago when Governor Ige and his wife Dawn were here to speak to her about our program. And she seemed very impressed with that. I don't know if you know this, but the University of Hawaii has also started a Grow Our Own Teacher program. They stole our name, or part of our name, where they fund, the DOE partners with the University of Hawaii, and they will fund people in education programs. But their commitment is 5 years, and it's a little, there's payback structure is a little more sophisticated than ours. But it was a great idea. I thank Dr. Connie Blockwell for starting it. Many of you know I'm a former educator. I was a special ed director. And so education is a big part of my commitment. So Ted, why don't you play one more testimonial? And No sound, Ted.
Ted, there's no sound coming through.
No.
Ted, you're muted.
Sorry about that. Let me try it again.
Hi, my name's Barbara Blumke, and I'm a fifth grade teacher at Wilcox Elementary. I've been teaching now for 11 years, and prior to this, I worked at Kauai-based School as a substitute teacher, part-time teacher, and an A+ group leader for almost 10 years. Somewhere along the lines, the several teachers there at the school, as well as my husband, convinced me to go back to school and put in that other 2 years of college to get an elementary education degree. It has been so worth it. Along those lines, GOOT also helped me out. They gave me a scholarship during my second year. They gave it to me at a time whenever I was looking at full-time in the classroom as well as coursework, making it really hard to hold down another job at the same time. This year, GOOT is doing their fundraising online. Their campaign has started, and they're working to raise $5,000 for the next group of student teachers. I'm asking you to click on the link below and help them out today. Our schools need local teachers. Our classrooms, our keiki deserve local teachers, and GOOT has done a wonderful job of helping to put local teachers into our classrooms. Please think about making that donation and click the link below to help us out today. Thank you so much.
So I'll take any questions if you have any questions.
Becky, could you post that link on the chat line? I can't do it quickly enough when it popped up on the screen, and I'm guessing other people are the same way.
Ted, can you do that for me?
The other question I have is, what does a starting teacher make on this island?
I'm not sure I know. It's probably, what is it, Tom? Probably 40, maybe 50,000.
I said not enough.
Yeah. My big thing was I've been talking to parents of students, and I keep saying to them, now is the time you need to write your legislator and tell him or her that teaching is really difficult because your kids have been home with you for the last year, and all of a sudden people are realizing that teaching is a difficult profession. So you know, I wish our legislators would understand that. You know, there's lots of parents out there that are really struggling with kids, with their students' education. But you know, I think the average scholarships that we give students is $4,000 to $5,000 for the semester. The I Teach program is about that has run about $4,000. So there are various, but what we do is we kind of spread the money out over the semester. And we've been very, very pleased with the teachers that we have. We know that when you have consistent teachers, that students' learning improves. And I have watched, I keep track of the student test scores here on Hawaii. And I have seen an improvement in, particularly at the elementary level, of various schools' students' performance. So I know that in the past, the schools on Kauai have been kind of at the bottom of the barrel. But really, we've got some really good educators out there, and student testing scores are improving. So I think that's also an indication that, again, consistent teachers help students do better in the schools. And Dottie, you're an educator, you were a principal, so you understand that as well.
Rebecca?
Yes,
To answer the question about how much does a teacher make, a teacher with a master's degree starts at 42,000 if they're a first-year teacher. So if they have a bachelor's degree, it's below that. I think it's 38.
it's probably about what, minimum wage?
Yep.
And there, and
Oh,
these,
no.
and some of,
It's about $20 an hour, so more than minimum. But
so, you know, it's, they don't get paid near enough. I mean, that's just sad. And the other thing is that these emergency hire, which like Kavika Wellington was when we sponsored him, they don't even get paid that much. They don't even get the full price. And these are people with degrees. Like Ira said, our second testimonial, Ira had a bachelor's degree in social work and then came back to Kauai and decided she wanted to be a teacher. So she had to go back to school to get her master's in elementary education. In the meantime, she had a baby, so she had that responsibility as well. So you can see that there's a need here, and I think growing our own teachers is, you know, it's filling a need. So I would encourage anybody that can to donate. And if you have a Facebook page, please feel free to download our information onto your Facebook page. I did it because I have a lot of educator friends on the mainland. And I can say that many of them have contributed to growing our own teachers on Kauai because they know of my commitment to education and appreciate that. So, are there any more questions?
No, but Becky, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, I need to apologize for my impromptu phone call a minute ago. I had you on my speed dial to call you about a couple of donations I need to make, but apparently it got away from me and online. So I will call you after the meeting again. My apologies, and I will give $100 to your online donations for growing your own teachers.
Thank you, Claude. I'll take those kind of interruptive phone calls anytime.
Thanks,
There's no
Becky.
more questions, I'm through.
Yeah, thanks. I think, you know, Becky said education is a passion of hers. The thing that I always, I mean, how many of us remember who your first grade teacher was, your second grade teacher, your third grade teacher? Those people make a huge impact on your life. And I can picture every one of them. And I know who those teachers were, and I know the ones. I'm lucky, I'm the youngest of 3 kids. And so we all went to the same elementary school. And by the time I got there, we knew who all the good teachers were for each grade. And I got steered through that path and had all the quote unquote good teachers. And it really does, I think, make a long lasting impact on your entire life. So getting the kids on Kauai educated and educated well, and by people who are committed to staying here is hugely important. And except for my first grade teacher was new, but my 2nd through 6th grade teachers were all the same teachers that my brother and my sister had. And that sort of continuity, I think, is also very important. So a program like Growing Our Own Teachers is really great to see. Any other questions for Becky or comments? Rodney.
Jan and I'll donate $100.
There you go.
Also.
Cool.
Thank you, Rodney and Jan.
All right. It's a little early, but I don't think anyone will mind having 10 minutes of their day given back to them. Thank you again to the new officers of our club. We very much appreciate you stepping up and taking on these roles. Give them all a hand. It will be an exciting time, and you know, you get to do a lot in terms of guiding the club, and it's a huge growth opportunity for you as well. I know the one thing I always think is interesting. Tom will attest to this with exchange students, but I've even seen it with some of the presidents. the difference between the first meeting a president leads and the last meeting a president leads is oftentimes massively different. And the one exchange student I always will remember is our exchange student from France, Jamal. And the first meeting he came to, talking very softly, he had his head down, he was very shy. And then he had the dinner that he put on at the yacht club, and he was going around and he was working every table, he was telling jokes, he was doing it. And being president can do much the same thing for you. It really does help you open up and get things going and keeping things moving. And it's a great growth opportunity for everyone. So thank you all. Any final comments, questions, thoughts, ideas, suggestions? Randy.
Hey, Rick, I'd like to donate to the Grow Our Own Teachers. And Becky, what an excellent presentation. But I'm going to give my happy dollars and thanks to Danny and Cyrus for stepping up to be president nominees. I really appreciate it. So now Danny and Cyrus got to make a decision on who's going to attend PETS, which is going to be in LA in February, a little less than a year from now. But I'll let them to arm wrestle on who's going to attend PETS. And if you both want to attend, just let me know, and we'll make that happen also.
Just
but,
so you know,
thanks for a great meeting.
Thanks. They're the presidents for next year, not for, they're the president-elects, not the president-elect.
Oh, president-elects.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll still give in honor of them stepping up. I think it's awesome.
Cool. Thanks. And again, just a temptation. If you want to be the president nominee, PETS is in LA. You get to go to LA on the club. That's not a bad thing. So yeah.
I put GOOT's address also on the chat line if anybody wants to donate directly to them. Their PO box in Kalaheo.
Cool. Alrighty. Thank y'all. We will see you all in 2 weeks. And in 2 weeks, by the way, in 2 weeks, special meeting. We have Jeff Cochran, who is the annual giving officer for Rotary International, is going to be presenting to us. So we're having another meeting that would not be possible if it were not for Zoom. So please plan to attend. But thank you all. Have a good day.
Aloha.
Aloha.
Hi, guys. I don't know if Waylon and Danny are still on there. Hello.
Hi.
I guess they just left it on. Good morning. Sorry I was late.
Okay.
I just wanted to, I missed the first part of you telling about the beach cleanup and what happened with John and Surfrider and all that.
John kind of abdicated responsibility. So we said, well, we'll just do it ourselves then. That's what it came down to. And then over the weekend, we tried to drive down to Mahalapu and the gate is down. So we can't get to the far end parking lot. And going down through CJM stables and stuff, that road is, I mean, we were driving the pickup truck and I was worried we were going to bottom out. It's just not good. And from my perspective, realistically, I'd rather see us do a beach where there's a little bit more visibility to the public as well. So we're figuring out where we're going to end up.
Okay. Well, I have some ideas for that. It's my favorite beach in the whole wide world, but yeah,
that would be Salt Pond, wouldn't it?
Yeah, that's the problem when we go around to the places that do have a lot of litter. There's a lot of homeless people living in the bushes. But I messaged Ted that I just recently found out the Waiahai cleans the Waiahai side of Poipu Beach every morning. Yeah. So if we wanted to clean Poipu, I guess we could clean the other side. But for me lately, it's pretty clean. So I was trying to think of a beach on the south side. The only idea I came up with was the Lawai Kai.
Mhm.
at Allerton's, but again, it's probably still a mess from the floods.
Right.
So I don't know.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
we got some time to think about which one we do, and we'll get that figured out.
Yeah, there's always the backup at Ligate. They're always looking for people
Yeah, yeah.
on
But
Saturdays.
I just rather something close by,
Yeah, I understand.
because I think we'll get better attendance if we're near.
Yeah.
I gather Surfrider suggested to John that Mahalapu was one of the beaches that needed the most help.
Mhm.
So we may still be able to figure out if Grove Farm can give us access there. If not, then we'll have to pick another.
Because that is a possibility that if we say we're there to clean the beach, they may say, well, then we'll open the gate for you.
Yeah, and that's what I thought they were doing with Surfrider all this time, but maybe not since the pandemic or since the flood. Since the 2018 flood, their road's been pretty damaged, but I don't know if you know Neil and Billy, but Billy goes down there and works with the tortoises and the open ceiling cave. They give her access to that end of the beach, Gillen's beach side. But the side that gets the most litter, maybe you know this, is around the corner. Have you walked all the way around the cliffs around the corner, the second beach? So there's something about the tides, I guess, that come through there. It's not as, I've gone there several times over the pandemic, and it's not as bad since people aren't boating as much, but now that it's going to pick up, there'll be more rubbish. But there's a big bin there now. It's a big wooden box that it looks like somebody's been going and just picking up a few and putting them in the box. And then when I come the next time, the box is empty. So somebody's doing it.
Yeah.
But CJM still does their horseback rides down there, so they might be doing it. I don't know if you talked to Jimmy. And then now the Kauai ATV has access, so they're doing the ATV rides down there, and they might be cleaning it or be willing to be a partner and take us down on the ATV. And they anyway, so different ideas. But if Mahalapu's out of the question, then yeah, I'll try to think of other places on that side.
Cool.
Let you know.
Okay.
Congratulations on getting co-presidents.
Yeah.
Great
it really-
idea.
Yeah,
Rick can take a vacation.
he is.
Thank you for your service, both
Yeah.
of you. Well, good to talk to you guys.
Thank
Okay.
you. Oh,
Have a
how's
good
the kitty?
day.
Kitty still doing well?
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
good.
Good, she's
Thank
good.
you.
Okay.
She's getting more bossy, so I know she's feeling better. Yeah.
Cool. All right.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.